Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now, Special Edition.
A senior official says the U.S. has shot down the Chinese balloon off the Carolina coast. The move ending days of speculation about what would happen to the balloon days after it entered U.S. airspace. President Biden saying he ordered the balloon to be shot down on Wednesday.
They successfully took it down, and I want to compliment our aviators who did it, and we'll have more to report on this a little later.
It was spotted over Montana, home to one of America's 3 nuclear missile silo fields, before heading east. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on this special edition of 4 News Now. I'm Emily Bloom. Jordan Smith has the night off. China denies the balloon spying on sensitive U.S. military sites. ABC's Phil Lipoff has the latest.
The United States bringing down a Chinese balloon that was traveling across the United States. Earlier today, spotted over parts of North and South Carolina.
I ordered the Pentagon to shoot it down on Wednesday as soon as possible. They decided that the best time to do that was as it got over water outside within the 12-mile limit. They successfully took it down.
In response, the FAA temporarily closing airspace for parts of the 2 states, issuing a statement that reads in part, the FAA has paused departures and arrivals to support the Department of Defense in a national security effort. Despite China claiming it's a civil aircraft blown off course, U.S. officials insist that is not the case.
But the key here is we don't know what it's looking for. Is it taking pictures? Is it doing signals intelligence where it's intercepting communications? But the thing that's perplexing here is that the Chinese have the ability to do these things from space where they wouldn't be violating U.S. sovereignty.
On Friday, Secretary of State Blinken postponing his trip to China set for next week, saying now is not the time to meet.
I made clear that the presence of this surveillance balloon in U.S. airspace is a clear violation of U.S. sovereignty and international law.
The Chinese Foreign Ministry saying, we respect that. Pentagon officials claiming the balloon has a large bay of technology attached underneath it, about the size of 3 buses, adding it was maneuverable. Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
The death of Tyree Nichols, the 29-year-old black man that died after being severely beaten by Memphis police officers, has gained the attention of people nationwide, sparking calls for police reform and accountability. In Spokane, organizers from multiple organizations gathered near downtown to remember Nichols and to demand change. Bronte Sorotsky spoke with organizers ahead of tonight's vigil about the need for action in Spokane.
People across the country are organizing events and speaking out following the death of Tyree Nichols. In Spokane, organizers say they're using this event to show solidarity and generate action.
Police violence happens everywhere in the United States, and in Spokane, we have it really bad.
That's why on Saturday, the Party for Socialism and Liberation in Spokane, along with other organizations, are holding space to remember Nichols and other people that have died following police confrontations.
But police violence happens everywhere, especially against black people.
People will be marching throughout North Bank Park, and we'll hear from speakers about police violence, both across the country and locally.
Here, we're going to fight this until it stops. And until we win, and we want as many people come alongside us.
Zachary McGuckin with the Party for Socialism and Liberation says that's the only way real change can happen.
We're the ones that have the capabilities of doing it if we build enough power together.
In the hopes change can be made and lives can be saved. Reporting in Spokane, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
And the family of one of the University of Idaho victims killed in a quadruple homicide in Moscow, challenging a court order that says they can't speak publicly about the case. An attorney representing Kaylee Gonzalez's family filed a motion Friday that says they are not parties in the case against accused killer Brian Kohberger and should not be subject to the judge's non-dissemination order. The judge's order, filed in January, says any interested party in this case cannot make extrajudicial statements, meaning any statements outside of the court proceedings. The Gonzalez attorney says the victim's surviving family members are free to speak to the public and the media under the First Amendment to the Constitution. A group of news agencies, including 4 News Now, is already planning to fight the gag order, saying it is overly broad and also saying it violates the First Amendment rights of those involved in the case. And a Spokane man will spend 36 years in prison for killing his ex-girlfriend and trying to kill her 5-year-old daughter as well. Joshua Phillips pleaded guilty last month to stabbing Casey Dewey to death back in April of 2021. At the time, investigators said Dewey had been stabbed 26 times. The 5-year-old Lily stabbed 10 times, and she survived. Phillips had been a nurse at Eastern State Hospital and had been living with Dewey until a day before the murder when she kicked him out. Dewey's family says the sentencing Friday was the chance to move forward in remembrance, that is, of Cassie and Lily. And our weather cooperated for most of the day, but more rain and snow is moving in tonight. We have meteorologist Matt Gray in studio. And Matt, everyone wanting to know what they've got left for the remainder of the weekend.
Yeah, and what we got left is probably a little bit of a soggier day tomorrow than what we saw today. So enjoy the muted sunshine that we're seeing around the inland Northwest right now. You can already see on the far side of the radar, things are a little bit more active on the western side of Washington State. Rain, mountain snow, and, well, at least for now, just some clouds bouncing, or some radar beam bouncing off the top of the clouds here between Yakima and Moses Lake. Radar stations, or rather weather stations, reporting that things are still dry there, but that is not going to be the case for too long, as we will see that rain gradually spread across the inland Northwest tonight. So in the meantime, enjoy the warm temperatures and what should be a nice muted sunset through the clouds tonight. It's still 46 in Spokane. It's 40 in Coeur d'Alene. We've seen a little bit of that nice sunshine here in the afternoon. Overnight, temperatures will drop only into the mid-30s, and that means we're talking about mostly rain for tomorrow, although we could see a snowflake or two try to get mixed in during these early morning hours. It should be mostly quiet as we go through the evening. As we get into those early morning hours, though, that's when things are going to begin to change in a big way. So a soggy Sunday forecast that I'll go over coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Matt. Well, if you've tried to get a refill on a generic Adderall prescription in the last few months, you may notice the ADHD drug has become harder to come by, with Adderall shortages happening all over the country. Pharmacists at Multicare say the current Adderall shortage is the worst it's been in months. They've reached a point where they are having trouble finding the drug, even the generic version. Multicare's VP of Pharmacy Services says there's no clear answer as to why these drugs are so hard to come by right now, but patients have been feeling the effects. ADHD drugs need to be taken consistently. If they aren't, they won't be effective for people who need them.
You do need to take it consistently, and that's our concern, is not having them go off this medication, because as I said, it's difficult when you change medications to get somebody stabilized on it.
And with this ongoing shortage, your best bet may be talking with your provider and seeing if you can get a prescription for a different ADHD medication. And we've heard from families across the inland Northwest about how tough this has been on them and their kids. If you've had trouble finding Adderall yourself, we want to hear from you. Feel free to send us an email, or you can give us a call using the contact information that is on your screen right now. And pharmacists are venting their frustrations with Kaiser Insurance after recently discovering that patients covered by the insurance agency are restricted on their ability to receive medication. Essentially, patients can get 2 medication refills from local pharmacies, but after the second refill, patients have to either order that medicine by mail or drive to a Kaiser-based pharmacy. For people in rural areas, such as Colfax, that can be problematic. The closest Kaiser-based pharmacy to Colfax is an hour away here in Spokane, which would require the patient to travel 100 miles round trip to receive their medicine, should they choose to decline receiving it through mail. But for many of these patients, making that drive can look like an attractive alternative than hoping their medication arrives through the mail on time. For medications such as insulin or blood thinners, the consequences could be dire if the mail were to arrive late.
They have a snowstorm or something that can cause a delay in that mail getting there. They could go a couple days without their insulin and all of a sudden end up in the hospital.
If this mandating mail order doesn't stop, where is that going to leave, all of our patients that live rurally and count on us?
Both Katie and Nathan Johnson testified before the Washington legislature in favor of a new bill that's been proposed, which would give patients the freedom of choice when it comes to picking their pharmacies. If approved, however, it wouldn't take effect until 2025. And still to come on this special edition of 4 News Now, a fire in Ohio after a train derailed off the tracks. The state's working to get the fire under control as the town still remains under a state of emergency. And the record for wind chill broken, how cold it is in New Hampshire, and what that cold feels like next.
And we're keeping an eye on mountain passes because even though they look pretty good right now, tomorrow certainly could be a different story. We'll have what you need to watch out for if you're planning to travel across the mountains in your First Alert forecast.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
It's the President's Day Super Sale at Furniture Row. Right now, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Check out special purchases while they last, plus 4 years no interest financing. The President's Day Super Sale, on now at Furniture Row.
You've been hearing about it, and now we've got it at Post Falls Volkswagen, the ID4 electric SUV. This SUV has a space, warranty, technology that buyers want at a price that's competitive. The ID4 was engineered to win the hearts of SUV owners ready to go electric. With a quick charge and an EPA estimated range of 260 miles.
The Volkswagen ID4, now eligible for a $7,500 lease credit.
The ID4 electric SUV, see it at Post Falls Volkswagen.
For a limited time only, get a new John Deere 1023E compact utility tractor with a 120E loader for only $199 per month. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for low monthly payments on top-of-the-line equipment that gets the job done, backed by our consistent quality customer service. Hurry in to your local Pape Machinery, Ag, and Turf store today to cash in on these limited time offers and get your property ready for the spring ahead. Pape keeps you moving.
Here we grow again. Even more fun is headed to Spokane Tribe Casino. You love Caesar Sportsbook, the Grill and Bar, and larger variety of games we recently added. Gear up for a new food court, a completely smoke-free gaming area, a state-of-the-art entertainment venue, and more. Things just keep getting better. This February, you could win $5,000 cash or a trip to the Final 4 games of the college basketball tournament in Houston, Texas. Only at Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
You even remember to water the house plants.
I do this? You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
It's the President's Day Super Sale at Furniture Row. Right now, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Check out special purchases while they last, plus 4 years no interest financing. The President's Day Super Sale, on now at Furniture Row.
This here on your screen right now is video from a major fire caused by a train derailing in Ohio. People living nearby were evacuated and more than 30 fire departments from 3 states are responding. The Environmental Protection Agency is also monitoring air quality. It's not yet known what the train was carrying at the time of derailment. The town, as of now, is still under a state of emergency as the fire continues to burn. And around the nation tonight, it is likely a new national record for the lowest wind chill ever recorded. On Mount Washington, New Hampshire, a reading of minus 108 degrees Fahrenheit was reported Friday night. At the time, the observatory was recording an actual temperature of 46 below, with winds gusting at 127 miles an hour.
I did have a tiny sliver of my wrist exposed today, and it felt like a continuous feasting or like a continuous sort of severe sunburn, just reminding you like, hey, skin exposed. It shouldn't be.
The National Weather Service doesn't track wind chill records as closely as temperatures. However, most meteorologists believe 105 below zero in Alaska previously stood as the lowest ever wind chill. And Matt, you're a meteorologist. That giving us a whole new perspective on cold back here at home.
Yeah, you want to see yourself instantly freeze into a popsicle. That's the kind of situation they have there.
Yeah.
So Mount Washington, they call it the home of the world's worst weather for a reason, because of things like that. Arctic blast happening over in New England. They're having some of the coldest weather they've had in a long time. Here, we are basking in mild weather. We're got up into the 40s today, and we got a lot more 40s in the extended forecast. We do have a couple systems coming through, and it's going to be a wet, sloppy Sunday. Mostly rain in the valleys. Just a chance in the morning for a couple of snow showers in the evening as well. Snowy on the passes, and the next storm will be coming in on Tuesday. It is warm out there. 46 in Spokane. It's 40 in Coeur d'Alene. It's in the 50s in the LC Valley. Lots of 40s on the board. You look up at some of the higher elevations, though, and you can see creeping closer to freezing. Temperatures tonight only mid-30s along the I-90 corridor. A little bit colder places like Winthrop, Omak, Colville, Bonners Ferry, and to the Kellogg area. We'll talk about Kellogg again coming up fairly shortly in the Silver Valley. As we go through the night, expect across central Washington some light rain or at least a couple of drips and drizzles to kind of work its way across the region. A bigger push late in the night and then early into the morning with that, once again, mountain snow. Maybe just one or two snowflakes that mix in with rain that's going to be falling in the urban corridor. And you can kind of see here as we approach lunchtime, things starting to ramp up in intensity here as a little cold front pushes through. By 6, 7 o'clock, we start to see things clear out in eastern Washington, but we're also seeing cooler air move in, and that means across many parts of North Idaho, we have the potential to even flip over to snow, at least very briefly. By the time we hit midnight on Monday, it is out of here, and we'll already be looking for the next system. So let's talk about snow, and that's because by this time tomorrow, difficult travel conditions in and out of the Silver Valley. 1 to 2 inches in 4th of July Pass, 2 to 4, and perhaps even more than that, up to 6 on Lookout Pass, just depending on how long that wet weather sticks around in the evening. Wallace and Kellogg also a chance to see just a little bit of accumulating snow and some slick roads. Same goes for Snoqualmie and Stevens Passes. Both are going to be on the snowy side of things, especially as we get later and later into the day on Sunday as some that cooler air moves in. So difficult travel conditions. Otherwise, things are looking definitely a little on the better side. Like I said before, in the morning, a chance for maybe 1 or 2 snowflakes, but this is mostly going to be rain, folks. You can see our temperatures sitting well above that freezing marker, and I would expect at least a chance for a little bit of rain pretty much every single hour of the day. The only dry time looks like it's going to be during that evening after everything moves out. Temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s for your highs. Another reason why we're saying this is going to be mostly rain, and an 80% chance of it. A break on Monday, a couple of mountain showers, and then the next system moves in on Tuesday. Once again, that'll be a mix of rain and snow, but mostly rain, windy weather as well, and then some pretty nice conditions as we head into the middle of the week. We'll see the sun come out, temperatures in the 40s. It will be a little bit cooler, though, in the morning as we drop below freezing again.
Thanks, Matt. Well, the Gonzaga Bulldogs are set for a massive game tonight. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti previews their game against rival St. Mary's and tells us what is at stake when the two teams tip off.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Would you look at that?
It's beautiful. Wow. That's our boy.
So proud.
There's no better morning than a buy one, get one for $1 morning at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get right to the point. It's the President's Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress. President, what's that mean for the average American? It means saving $100 off every $1,000 you spend.
And purple?
With bipartisan support, we've allocated up to $900 off adjustable mattress sets.
And how will the people pay for these so-called savings?
Try 4 years, no interest, and free shipping. The President's Day Super Sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Dear Winter, we're coming. Our squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready to take you on. Safety's the name of our game. Bundle up. Toyota.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan with roadside assistance. Visit your local Toyota dealer to learn more. Reserve yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When you pull up in a brand new $85,000 GMC Sierra Denali, neighbors are going to notice, especially Gary. Don't make this weird, Gary. It's the Spring Into a Sierra giveaway at Northern Quest. Now through March 30th, play daily with your Cameras Rewards card, and you could have a brand new, fully loaded GMC Sierra in your driveway come spring. Details at northernquest.com.
McCafe iced coffee is the perfect reward for those mornings that deserve a reward. Get a medium iced coffee, any flavor, for just $2. Take a treat retreat, available all day at McDonald's.
4 News Now is brought to you by Northwest Motorsport.
Well, the Gonzaga Bulldogs are coming off a much-needed win on Thursday night as they handled Santa Clara to earn their 19th win on the season. But their job gets a whole lot tougher as they will face off against rival St. Mary's down in Moraga later tonight. In fact, the Bulldogs enter this one as a 3-point underdog. So that really tells you where these two programs stand at this point in the season. Now, both the Gales and the Zags are ranked in the top 25, so you don't really have to worry about either team missing out on the tournament. But this game is going to be huge for the winner when it comes to seeding in the WCC tournament and also when it comes to the NCAA tournament. Now, the last time GU visited St. Mary's, it was not a lot of fun for the Bulldogs, to say the least, as the Gales took down the #1 team in America to cap off the regular season. And even though that was the only time that the Bulldogs got tripped up in WCC play last year, this team doesn't really view it as a revenge game coming in.
It's not a rivalry if you win every game, right? They're a good team, and we split, I'm pretty sure, last year in the regular season. So, I mean, no, I mean, it's another game with St. Mary's. It's 2 heavyweights going at it. So if we both are going to bring our A game, it's going to be a fist fight. So that's just kind of how we see it.
It's an old team and a good team, and they don't make mistakes on the offensive end, and I think they're might be playing the slowest pace of play in all of college basketball. You know, it's not by Ken Palm or something, but it's so effective.
A tip-off for this one is set for 7:30 later this evening. Now, a little bit of a game note here in this one. Drew Timme only needs 8 points to move into #2 in the all-time Gonzaga scoring list, so it's safe to say he's probably going to do that tonight. And checking in on some other scores from around the area, the Gonzaga women picked up a big win today as they have a bounce back after losing to Santa Clara earlier in the week. They beat San Francisco by more than 20 points to earn their 22nd win of the season. Kayleen Trung led all scorers with 27 points. Michaela Williams and Yvonne Ejim also finish in double-digit scoring. Bulldogs will now return home for a 3-game stint as they welcome in Portland on Saturday morning, and that could very well determine the #1 seed in the WCC tournament. And checking in on the WSU men, they are approaching halftime against UCLA down in Los Angeles, and the Cougs down by 9. So at this point in the season, they're really just playing spoiler. They can't really play for the NCAA tournament. Too many losses. Even the NIT is probably out of the question. They would have to go on a heck of a run there. So if you're a Coug fan, probably looking forward to the 2023-2024 season at this point. And former Washington State linebacker Deion Henley continued to shine down in Mobile this weekend for the Senior Bowl. In fact, he came up with a second-half fumble recovery, helping the national team secure the victory. Now, the game doesn't really count for a whole lot, but by all accounts, Henley vastly improved his draft stock this week as he could find himself being selected in the first 3 rounds of the upcoming draft. Now, next up for him is going to be a trip to the NFL Combine out in Indianapolis at the end of the month, and then later the NFL Draft in April, where we are going to hear his name selected. And the final day of the WSU Open track and field meet at the Podium, just across the street from our studios. The race of the weekend came in the final heat of the men's mile, where the Gonzaga's Will Smith set a new podium record of 3 minutes, 59 seconds, and 3:59.56. Smith's teammates embraced him following his remarkable performance there. And Gonzaga's women's track also had some top finishes. Bulldogs' Kirsten Garcia had the top time in the women's mile at 4:48.49. Idaho's Katja Pattis took second, and Washington State's Jasneet Nihar came up just short in the women's 400. Nihar had the second fastest time of 54.67. 4 News Now. We'll be right back.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Those responsible for making our local roads and highways safe for winter travel would like to remind you that snow removal is an important, critical, and precise task. Please give the right-of-way to removal equipment so we can all get where we need to go quickly and safely.
Want to do a little spinning and winning at the Kootenai Casino? Play our February Hot Spins Thursday through Sunday. Win there and you'll move on to Friday, Saturday Super Spins drawings. Then get a shot at the big money drawing. Book a midweek room at the Kootenai Falls Lodge for just $59 or a midweek Riverview room for just $89. Hot Spins, Super Spins, and Final Cash giveaway. We're winning and spinning at the Kootenai Casino. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Wouldn't you like a laundry set that works as hard as you do?
This family-size LG laundry set can handle anything in your laundry basket, and they're on sale for only $9.99 each.
With an app that tells you when your clothes are done, this LG set quietly cleans big loads of laundry.
This laundry set has steam and can wash an entire load in under 30 minutes. $9.99 each for this top-rated LG washer and dryer is a great value.
When Fred's advertises it, we've got it. Get your new appliance today.
You can't believe everything you hear. Like George Washington never chopped down that old cherry tree. But you can believe in big savings during the President's Day Super Sale at Furniture Row. Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Check out special purchases while they last. Plus, 4 years, no interest financing. Shop the largest selection at the lowest prices, guaranteed. The President's Day Super Sale, on now at Furniture Row.
Winter weather means hazardous driving conditions. If you must travel, follow these guidelines to keep everyone safe. Slow down and keep a safe following distance. Use traction tires. Give snow and emergency vehicles the right of way. Carry an emergency kit. Brought to you by Lakes, Worley, Post Falls, and Eastside Highway Districts.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
You know, a couple weeks ago when we started getting cold again, I was like, well, here we go. Winter's coming back. And then Mother Nature said, psych, here we go. Back into the 40s, so good luck in this warm weather. We've got a lot on the way.
All right, not too bad. I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that. I would prefer to bring back the snow. You can keep up to date with all the news on KXOI.com.
Download the 4 News Now app today. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.